to Madeira, we introduced sugarcane and vines. And Madeira during the 15th and 16th century was a big producer of cereals in terms of sugarcane. Sugarcane came from Sicily to the island, and soon after we became one of the biggest producers of sugar in the world. Now, sugar during those days had a completely different meaning. It was extremely valuable. It was even used for medicinal purposes. And we ended up...
Nosso para baixo.
Sim. Consegue ir para baixo?
Vamos, devagar iniciar. Não gosto muito de passar estas escadas, mas...
Não. Ajuda dele. Aqui está ali. And as I was saying, we had over 100 sugar mills by the end of the 15th century. And we ended up exporting our sugar in big wooden boxes to Europe, all over Europe. We exported especially to Flanders, to Italy. Those same boxes came back with magnificent pieces of art, with sculptures, with silver, with gold, and paintings. And this explains why Madeira has such a valuable collection of Flemish paintings. Now, these boxes afterwards were turned into furniture, which is magnificent. We still have that furniture in our museum. And by the early 16th century, the year 1500, was when we introduced to Madeira, was when we arrived to Brazil. And when we Portuguese arrived to Brazil, we introduced mostly everything that had been introduced to Madeira. I usually say that Madeira was more or less the laboratory for Portugal. And sugarcane was introduced to Brazil. Thousands of Madeirans went to Brazil. Guess what? Taking all the techniques with them. So it didn't take long for us to lose the sugar trade. And that's when slowly we started producing more and more wine. So by the 17th century, second half of the 17th century, 18th century, Madeira was already a big producer of wine. And we exported our wine to various countries in Europe and even to the United States. So you know that the Declaration of Independence of your country, 1776, I believe, was toasted with a glass of Madeira wine. And by the 19th century was when diseases attacked many vineyards, many sugarcane plants, and we had thousands of Madeirans that had no other option but to leave. Most of the men who left came back to take their families. Others took the families as well, and that was the time